Hello YouTube. Today I have bought an extension cord to my remote shutter to my camera, so I will not have to move back and forth between here and the camera. So that's channel news for today. Now, today's video. It has come to my attention that apparently the 1990s TV show Friends is sexistic and homophobic. And I'll tell from the beginning, I have not seen very much of the TV show myself. I have seen enough to know what the characters looks like, what kind of jokes they make, how we interact with each other and so on, but I'm not in any way a fan and I haven't seen every single episode. I've seen a bunch of episodes, but yeah. And I thought it was average funny to watch when it went on TV. I know people who really love the show and watch every episode and have it in a DVD collection and watch it over and over and so on, but well, that's not me. Anyway, what has happened now is that apparently Netflix is going to air this TV show on their, put it on onto their so you can watch it, or some TV channel or something, and people are returning to it, looking at it, and we say, oh, this is sexistic, it's homophobic, and they get really angry about it. And I'm going to talk about this. First, talk about myself. I was born in 1977. My first memories are quite early. I actually do remember my mother changing diapers on me. Now, of course, that could be that I needed diapers much longer than others, but I don't think so. And when I say that, people don't really believe me. But yeah, I do remember having diapers changed. So I have really early memories and have quite a lot of very, very early memories. I don't know why I do, but I have friends who can't remember anything before the age of 6. I guess I was 2.5 or something. I don't know how old kids are when they have diapers changed. So I have quite early memories. I remember the first war I have memories from on TV is the Soviet Union war in Afghanistan that ended in my childhood in 1984, and I remember the war in Angola when I was a kid. It was always turning on the TV, watching news, and we talked about the war in Angola. So I remember that. My first national historical memory from my own country was, well, I remember vaguely things before that, but the thing I really remember is the assassination of Olof Palme. I was Prime Minister in 1986. I was apparently 9 years old and I had already formed political opinions, and I didn't mourn his passing very, very much. And as I have studied up on his works as an adult, I think they shot him for a good reason, put it that way. He was dangerous. He could have caused massive problems. And I had a feeling for that already in 1986. So, I remember very clearly in 1994. That is well into my, I would say, adult memories. Now, I wasn't an adult as such, I was like a teenager. But I remember very clearly the political climate. I remember the politicians, their names, their faces, things that were going on. And in 1994 we had a discussion about same-sex partnership. It simply meant that if a couple of the same sex were living together, they could be registered as a partner, registered partnership. And the political debate at the time was that people said, well, they need to be able to live like ordinary people, but we should not let them get married. And no one say we're only going to have this thing happening to them. They will have this registered partnership, but there will be no marriage, absolutely no gay adoptions. That will not happen. not a single person question this, it would only be registered partnership. And I said that if we allow this registered partnership, they will be allowed to marry and they will be allowed to have children, to adopt children. And everybody said, no, that's not gonna happen, we'll only make this step. And I said, no, if you make this step, you will take the others as well. And, well, that has happened a long time ago, okay? So, I would put this in context with a Friends TV show and how people react to it. People who loved the show back in the 1990s, they now watch it again and they are really upset about the homophobic things and the sexistic jokes and so on going on. And when I first heard about this, I thought, no, they were not homophobic. After all, there is one episode where, I don't remember the characters, but the black-haired guy, I think he is brother to the black-haired woman. I really don't know the names of the characters. I know there is one guy named Ross, but I think that's the ugly one, I'm not sure. And then there is the blonde who is always funny but a little stupid. Anyway, he fathered a child with a woman who turned out to be a lesbian and then got a lesbian wife. So the two wives and the biological father showed up at the hospital and where the labor should take place. And this was in the 1990s, which means that they were way ahead of the curve of the time. They tried their best to show that they are modern and updated with modern opinions and they are for everything that is new and fresh. When we look at it today, people respond like, these guys are homophobic and sexistic. Now, my comment on this is, if you watched the TV show in the 1990s and you thought it was a funny show, and now you watch it again, and you are upset about what you see, you did not have any problems with the show in the 1990s. And why did you not have any problems with the show in the 1990s? The reason was that you did not have any problems with the show in the 1990s. Now, I remember very clearly the debate in Sweden in 1994, which, remember, Sweden is ahead of the curve when it comes to all this accepting homosexuals and whatever, all those things that in my world is modern opinions, because I remember the time before that, when no one had those opinions. And that's a change that has happened in society during my living memory. Okay, it was not so, none of that existed when I was a kid, and I remember when it did not exist, and then the change came in my lifetime, and I remember the change, okay? So, when the debate on registered partnership happened in Sweden in 1994, well, Sweden is ahead of other countries in this development. No one wanted gay marriage, and absolutely no gay adoptions. And those who were around at the time, I'm 40 years old, so people of my age and older who are upset about what happened back then. They are upset about opinions they had themselves. This is very important to understand. You had those opinions yourself. If you are my age, there is a 99.9% probability that you were against homosexual marriage and homosexual adoptions in 1994. There's a 99.9, if not more, chance that you were against it in 1994. And then you have changed your opinions. So, if you are upset about other people who lived in the 1990s and had 1990 standards of their opinions, you had the same opinions yourself, so you should be upset about yourself. How could I be such an evil person back in then? But I don't see these people writing comments on Twitter about how backward this TV show is, lamenting about it. Oh yeah, and by the way, I was just as bad as them, so I should be angry at myself too. And this is a big hypocrisy. And I'm a bit amused when I watch, now of course teenagers and people, millennials and so on, they are too young to do this. But people of my own age and even older, who are even showing judgmental attitudes towards people who have opinions that are not as modern as everybody else, it's such a hypocrisy, because they had the same opinions themselves. And you have to be as judgmental as your early self as you are towards modern people who don't agree with you now. Otherwise you're just a hypocrite. Now, I develop as a person as well. I have gone through a lot of things that have changed me, but I do not see it like that I was like so and now I am like so and I have changed. Honestly, I have not changed a bit. What has happened is that I have gained new things. Like I have this extension cord. Because I have this extension cord, I can now turn the camera on and off when I'm in front of it. So this is the first video I'm doing with this extension cord. The camera hasn't changed, it just got one more equipment. And when I develop, I do not actually change anything. I get more, I learn things, I gain more tools of various kinds, tools of the head. Things that allow me to understand things from more perspectives. And that means I can be in favor of something I previously was against. It does not mean that I actually changed, because I may very well still believe the things I used to believe, but now I also believe something else. And when we add these two things together, a third opinion must come that wasn't there before. That is in contradiction with another opinion before. But I just grow by adding things. Rarely I change. Okay. So I develop as everybody else. And we get these tools and it allows us to understand or misunderstand. You can also become less founded in reality. Some people are just getting further and further away from reality. So it's not necessarily a good thing, but we gain more tools that allow us to understand or misunderstand new things. And then we move on like so. And that's growth. It's personal growth. Today I'm a licensed motor chainsaw operator. We have a driver's license system of that in Sweden, because Sweden is a timber nation and people can die. The chainsaw is the most dangerous hand tool, motor operated hand tool we have in the country. And it kills a dozen people every year. It used to do. So we got something like a driver's license system for chainsaw, and people who have this education are much less exposed to accidents. And I'm a level C chainsaw operator, which means I'm allowed to do some quite complicated things with trees in the forest. I was not that in the past. I am now. Okay, so I have gained this tool, and I have gotten a driver's license for my car, and I'm currently in a gardening school and learning more about plants and all kinds of stuff. So I accumulate things, and that allows me also to understand things I couldn't understand before. And returning to this Ross, and Ross, that's one of the characters. It's the only character I know the name of this Friends TV show, and you're so upset about that, but you develop in one way or another. I'm not going to review whether that development is bad or good. You change, and you had the same opinions in the past, so don't be upset. Now, of course, if you're 15, 16, 20 years old, then you can be upset about people who lived in the past, but that's like being upset by people who lived in the 1700s or something. That's a past, okay? And, well, that's it. I think this negative attention towards Friends is quite stupid, because it's an expression of hypocrisy from people of my generations, that we don't see we were like them. That was normal and we accepted it back then. And now suddenly you're angry with them. You should be angry with yourself, because you are just like they are. Thank you.